Chapter 10. Savage Servant. You must lead with bold confidence and authority. Strength is positioning your team to get a taste of success during the toughest times of defeat. Most don't know what winning looks like. Put in processes that hold to standardization and consistency. Build your team by challenging, not criticizing. The first step of your mind and ability will be your strength. The second test will be your weakness. Decide that each test will prove to be better than the last because you withstood it. If your world or your environment is weak, then naturally you are weak. Is your environment strong? You will need it to be strong in order for you to find any type of success. Your environment is a condition of what you decided it should be. As each day passes, you have the authority to shape and mold it into an invaluable piece of work. Find serenity knowing that all good things come to those who are patient but persistent. Serenity now means you release the bad and crank up the good. Feel beautiful, feel amazing, and feel that your life will fall into place when you fall out of line. Stop believing there is no hope or chance for you to change the trajectory of your life. Your best can't be covered in lies and defeat. How do you know your capability if you live behind a glass wall watching everyone else? Do you present yourself with confidence and look as if you're in control of your life, yet doubt every move in front of you? You will be dressed in your very best when you lay your body to rest. You are no longer here, yet the mind and soul want to show respect. You want that last impression in memory to be who you were and bring closure to those who meant the most to you. Don't let your best version of yourself be when you're lying there as a memory. Live today knowing that your last breath on this earth will be a celebration of life. You will be missed, but your loved ones will know you never settled for average, and you will never know that you missed a chance to be a gift to this world. Since you are not laying in your final resting place, we must continue to do remarkable things as a reminder for good people to not give up on humanity. We can have hope knowing that there are still good people out there who truly care, who will extend their generosity when so many would rather stay silent. Are you one of those people? So, how do we undo the subconscious mind that has been manipulated over the years? The brainwashing of subliminal messages, and then you find yourself falling victim to those less than worthy situations. How many years will you spend before you decide for yourself that you deserve so much more? As a savage servant, you can't carry authority you don't have. It will quickly become arrogance. You can carry the characteristics that are unique about you, but they must follow a strict routine of consistency and results. A man will talk circles if he can't produce a result worthy of getting people to follow. Being too naive to change will be the death of any leader. Believing it is always someone else or someone is to get you out of it is a victim mentality that doesn't promote growth. Savage also delves into your character outside of leadership. Think about those times, great memories, or moments that stuck, the ones that made you smile. That joy is a well that you tap from. Joy keeps us together. I was once at a friend's house attending a fall party, and he had his Jeep out for everyone to drive. It had been years since I drove a stick shift, but I was in my element. As I put my foot on the clutch, grabbed the shift knob for control, I quickly became a kid again, dropping gears to climb the creek, thrashing through the thicket, and cranking it up to get across the yard. What a time to be alive and to feel alive. I still tap that well of joy from time to time because it's exhilarating. As you create moments, you can't be reckless and make poor decisions and expect great things to come from it. We get so caught up in trying to survive life that we miss the moments where we're connected with someone or share a laugh that will be told years later. These moments make us real, and if you're able to incorporate them in your leadership style, it allows you to be as genuine as possible in your journey. You want people to follow you, then simply treat them with respect, and they will be forever grateful to have you in their life. Show them that you won't have them do anything that you wouldn't do, and be there for them. You must work, though, and you must have knowledge to effectively lead them. You want to know how to lose credibility or respect quickly? Treat your people like they aren't valued or talk down to them instead of with them. You break this trust, and it's hard to ever get it back in order. Remember, most people are followers and hold a high standard for their leaders. These people also never tend to forget. You keep building trust and putting in the work. You can't convince them all, but remember, your leadership is strong, and it will be built off of each experience. One day, when you become that mature, seasoned leader, you'll remember those times and look back at when you were green and just how far you've come. People, though, are afraid to leave their situation, even if they are financially prepared to walk away. Even though they're unhappy, they still won't make the move because of the risk or fear of failure. The fear of what if freezes them, and if left this way too long, it will become damaged goods. The The feeling that more money is needed, more time, or more research becomes the excuse rather than the reason. We take on a lot to fill the void, but we don't really commit to our plan. Slightly skewed expectations, which naturally crush the plan. Should you jump off the cliff with no parachute relying on faith? No, absolutely not. But it does take guts to admit you're making excuses and would rather feel good in the moment than suffer through the uncertainty. Let's face it, many have what it takes and have paid their dues. You're just hoping to catch a break, for someone to give you a big opportunity, or even just tell you what to do. I've been down this path and it became dark and barren. I stunted my own development expecting someone else to step in and give me that chance. I couldn't understand how someone wouldn't want to take a chance on me. At that time, I was willing to do anything, as many hours as it took, and sacrifice all of my time. I'm glad things didn't work out that way because I had my priorities out of line and would have likely spiraled later in life. I was caught chasing work and my family would have suffered for it. When I realized no one was coming to save me, I had to double down and create skills that would give me better positioning, whether in my personal or work life. The key is to not make it public or boast of what you plan to do, but to put the work in behind the scenes. It's similar to practice versus the game. If you're always practicing, then how do you know how you will perform in the game? If you're in the game, when do you get a chance to practice and refine your skills lacking in the game? Stop trying to be the judge, the jury, and the defendant in your leadership. Let your leadership, your character, and your innate ability to control the environment in which you want to thrive in take over. We get so hung up trying to test it out if it's really working or not that we end up screwing up our own progress. Servanthood can be severely misunderstood. In life and in business, nothing is fair, nothing is easy, and it doesn't always let the nice guy win. You control and manage your passion, then no one can stop you. If you lose your cool and speak words that are foolish and full of arrogance, you will never make the next level of leadership. Tolerate people, work with them, give them support, but you don't owe them anything. Every decision has consequences. Let yours be from doing what is right and what you believe to be of good faith to those around you. We need to be savage servants. Putting yourself second will always carry a reward at the end. If you look for praise in man in everything you do, I promise you will be left on empty. You should have empathy for others and be willing to help when there is a need. This doesn't mean foolishly giving away your money or putting yourself in a bad situation, but it means having a heart for humanity. It's how great men and women should lead no matter what their roles or titles are. Find out what the universe will bring you when you let down your guard and consider how you could be a part of shaping and molding someone else's future. You have no idea what your words will do or what your giving heart will mean to someone in need. You can't imagine the possibilities when you help someone, even if it's just words of encouragement and that person goes and changes their life around. Our gift is not limited to just our own minds and bodies. We are truly an extension of the world with a purpose, and you will never know what you mean to it if you don't put yourself out there to discover it. Hospitality is another way to present servanthood. It's a way of showing you that you can care even for a stranger. This doesn't mean offering everything you own or trusting every person who comes into your life. It means having enough respect for that person to give them a chance. You don't know their story, and some hospitality may go further in their life than your eyes will ever be able to see. Find a way to make people feel at home. No matter who you are or who you come in contact with, try and treat them like kings and queens. Many believe they care, but don't truly understand how hospitality and genuine care for others works. It's not common to see someone go out of their way to make sure someone else, even a stranger, is taken care of. I've had countless situations where I've had the opportunity to show this hospitality, and feeling of self-satisfaction alone is worth it. My message is clear. I want to make sure people don't give up on humanity, and that means putting myself out there in hopes that they will pay it forward one day and make the world a better place. We don't get to heaven or by our good deeds alone, but we are to be the light to others in a dark world. We have no idea how far that deed will go, but we should trust that it's the right thing to do whether we find out or not. Have a mentality of servanthood to those you meet that are in need, and the reward will show itself 10 times over throughout your life. This is not to be mistaken for as a weakness to help those who are not in need. A kind act is one thing, but this type of service is found when you feel it in your heart to help someone who really needs it. It's when you know the universe has called you to answer. We tend, though, to be afraid of ourselves. Why do we not face the person in the mirror? The mirror is full of regrets, fears, insecurities, shame, looks, our voice, and even a replay of memories like a terrible movie that you really don't want to watch, but you can't turn away from. Many have hurt us over the years, family, friends, coworkers, the list goes on, But what is hurt? We become so attached to being liked or fitting in that we are trying to find ourselves. We only have other people to measure it to. The opposite is being so bold that you feel that you don't care or don't need anyone else's opinion. You can choose an independent lifestyle and continue to convince yourself you're enough, but it's not real. Then you're still in the same spot. Having respect for yourself means you've worked hard to be who you are, and you are confident in what you have to offer. We are not a dog in a fancy show, so we shouldn't feel like we are at control of a master's hand. Being confident with who you are also, though, means you need to appreciate others' leaders and others with their potential. Don't let your confidence be mistaken for arrogance. See a need, fill a need. We don't know when, but will you be ready? Preparation is huge because you're preparing for the unknown. So your skills must be dialed in and very specific to what fits you. What gift have you been given that, if mixed just right, would produce amazing results? Or what gift would empower someone else the feeling of true satisfaction, true balance, and harmony in their life? You can learn so much when you truly help someone else but expect nothing in return. Look around you and notice how people spend their time. On their phones scrolling, daydreaming, procrastinating, the list goes on. But are they spending time learning, studying, and observing? Observing things around you can be one of the most powerful tools and skills you can obtain. Time moves fast, but if you observe the day full of people's behaviors and patterns, it eventually slows down and puts things in perspective. Most are very predictable because they're like a routine, but those who push the limits and learn to break the mold become the ones who stand out. Perspective is always seeing it at a higher view. I've always believed that things happen for a reason, but as I get older, I believe that they only happen because we position ourselves. Life will happen around us, and we can't control everything that happens to us, but we can control where it goes. Progression is how you position yourself, but achievement is how you respond and react to your reality. I assure you, though, you can't crawl back in the womb, so you might as well start kicking down some doors now and don't stop until you've mastered it all. Don't let each day pass knowing that you passed on being great. When you look at some crazy events or some of the more traumatic ones, they must mean something to you for you to move forward. This is a tough process because you must become emotionless or numb to it, and sometimes that's not fair to yourself, but it's what you have to do. Make sure that you don't look at everything in between that's happened as a waste or not worth it. Who you are right here, right now, and in this moment came to life because of all those situations and experiences. Being a servant is exhausting. You have so many hats. You must wear your smile when you don't want to, help when you would rather not, and be attentive to everyone's needs. Even though you know you're gifted for it, it can wear you down. The important part is to remember you can't save everyone, and you really must spend time on yourself mentally, physically, and spiritually. Your gift then to other people is to be the light, but they must choose how they want to handle their life. I used to think that you could help someone write their story for them. The truth is, you can't. All you can do is remind them how amazing they are, help them understand their struggles have made them the amazing person they are, and then set them free. You got to go through some stuff to know that you can get through some stuff. You can't refight the battles you've lost in your life. Be aware of what fear does to us, whether it's fear of failure, fear of regret, or fear of what might happen. Usually when you put everything into not failing, you end up failing. You should never live in fear because this world is big enough to handle even our biggest problem. So today, start the process of making some real changes. Look deep inside and see what you find. Be confident in who you are, the things you've overcome, and the things you'll defeat. Fear exists in those who don't have faith. Fear allows hate, greed, selfishness, and pettiness to thrive in your life. It distracts you and causes you to drift. When you're drifting, you're not living. You're just existing and banking on hope. Find strength in the wisdom you've earned from the support around you. Know that you have what it takes to live a great life. You were amazing, but do you believe it? I encourage you to face each day knowing that the battle can be won if you meditate and channel that energy on what you can control. If something is taking you away from using your gift, then go after it and destroy it. What does all of this mean to us? It means you should live knowing that every poor decision does have a consequence, but you shouldn't live in fear or regret. Your poor decision may hurt you now, but could bless someone else in their life even years later, or reasons you achieve great things. Stop being so hard on yourself, but start being smarter about your choices you make. The battle between good and evil will always exist, but if you understand what grace is and the pursuit of change, then you understand what living actually looks like. Your gift can't be conditional. Sometimes it takes faith to leave your situation, but sometimes it also takes faith to stay in it. Remember, the situation you are running through your mind night after night might be the one that you asked for some time ago. If you don't believe that these situations are a part of the process, then you've missed the point. We must be at the mercy of losing a piece of ourselves and our own will in order to understand how we will accomplish great things. You must be tired of running and tired of questioning. We are so critical of ourselves while we're in our situation that it's hard to see past what's right in front of us, or better yet, see past the end of our nose. Sometimes blessings fall into our lap. The world is spinning and there's no doubt it can align itself, but that's not what makes it special. We are blessed when we are a part of it, and we help create it. That's why you always hear so much about being blessed and grateful what it means. Where sometimes it's the simplest thing you can do for someone else, a thoughtful gift, or the right words at the right time that means more to someone because they needed it and you had it. Try giving these simple compliments. 1, you're amazing. I couldn't have done it without you. 2, stop them in their tracks and say, I'm not sure what it is, but you have a glow today. 3, I appreciate you. 4, your spouse must adore you. How do you do it? 5, you made life better just by being here today. You are essential and not accidental. Are you broken, confused, and struggling to find peace? Are you struggling to find closure? Are you hurt? Have you been hurt? And is your life compass broken? Well, the good news is you have been personally selected to be a warrior, but you can't be your best version if you're still really living everything behind you. Just like anything in this world, in order for it to be great, it must be renewed. Busted up and broken still has a chance, but we can't hide from this anymore. So why do we have faith if we go to our grave still worrying? Why do we seek a higher power or an answer to life's riddle, yet never rest the mind long enough to be at peace? How is it that every snowflake that falls will be different, but your mind is still full of self-doubt? How is it that every person has their own fingerprint, but you don't believe that you are one of a kind and that you are uniquely crafted? There was no one before you, there is no one now, and there will never be someone in the future that has that same fingerprint. Your fingerprint is your blueprint, and you're the architect to build whatever your mind can create. Many times we are so blind, make it so hard, and all we do is just lay on our burdens, our insecurities, our fears and doubts, and pursue what we are passionate about. So what happens when your faith confuses you and your spirituality doesn't align with your reality? I could tell you to just hang in there. Everything happens for a reason, and one day you'll thank yourself for going through it. Or I can tell you, you better have a warrior mentality that says, I will not be stopped, and that I will do what others are not willing to do. There's no doubt that you will be overwhelmed at some point in your life, but the best feeling is when you're all alone and you get that positive, overwhelming feeling, that sign of relief that whispers, it's going to be okay. It continues to whisper, I need to know you can handle this before something bigger is revealed. I love it when I have these moments. It gives me goosebumps thinking about it. I was driving home one day after work, and the same thing happened to me. I was just racking my brains like a pool table, lining up the set over and over, but never actually hitting the cue ball. Finally, I called out to the universe and asked, why so much pain? Did I make the right decision that put me in this situation? As I just drove and drifted, I had that overwhelming feeling that told me something big is going to happen. I just need to make sure you're ready for it and that you've thought this through. How do you prepare for that big moment? You work through the details day after day so you're ready. That's how. Think about spinning around on a bat over and over, and then you cut loose and try to walk a straight line. You are all over the place trying to keep your balance and grasp where you are. This same concept applies when you don't structure your goals on your life to something intentional. You may be wondering why there's always so much chaos and confusion, and it feels like you're riding on the crazy train. Most of us go through these crazy times believing that we are the only ones feeling this way, but not bold enough to reach out to others who may have the same experience and who can help. As we close this chapter on being a savage servant, what do people see when they see you? How do they react? Has life changed for the better because of you, or do you just blend in? What makes you different than anything else in this world? Have you noticed, though, that being different means that you're not them and you don't fit in? Have you taken a hard look at yourself to be who you were called to be instead of someone else's beck and call? We all have walls in our life that we need to knock down, but it requires obedience and to stop being fools with how we carry ourselves. Stop making decisions that gain you nothing. You may have good intentions, but you know these decisions are not working. Faith keeps you going. It wakes you up. It helps you fight, and it helps you believe in what you will become. If you can hold on strong and be strong enough. Just as faith with no action is dead, vision with no action will follow suit. Put your egos to the side and help others succeed. You must be willing to continue to do the work and help others through their struggles. If you can handle the frustration of someone else not pulling their weight, and you can coach them through it as a servant, you're guaranteed to have success. You must make it your obligation to go after others and help them up to your level. The easiest way to break a team is to start drama from your frustration. Help be that firm foundation that holds it together. This doesn't mean you have to give in or pick sides. It also doesn't mean you have to drag along someone who functions outside of your vision. Tough times require tough decisions, and you may be forced to cut that person loose. Having the ability to understand all sides means you need to hear both sides and be the voice of reason. Being structured and carry forward is a vision that will benefit the big picture in the end. Galatians 5:13. You, my brothers and sisters, were called to be free, but do not use your freedom to indulge the flesh. Rather, serve one another humbly in love.